Good afternoon. I would like to talk now about the six-way calf stretch and the front leg stretch. I'd like to teach the six-way calf stretch because there's actually, even though it sounds like a lot of stretches for the calf, it really is fairly simple. And the important thing to remember is that in the calf muscle group, there are actually two major muscle groups, one of which crosses the knee and the other of which does not. And so in order to effectively stretch the calf, you need to stretch the calf across the ankle with the knee bent and also with the knee straight. So if you do that, you have a two-way calf stretch, right? So how do we get the six-way calf stretch? You get the six-way calf stretch because you want to orient your foot straight ahead, slightly to the outside, and slightly to the inside. And if you do that with both the knee bent and the knee straight, that is 3 times 2 or 6. So just going through that, there's no particular order that needs to happen for this. And again, I would recommend all stretches held if possible for 30 seconds each. In the interest of time, I'm not going to do that here in this video. However, I am going to go through and show all of these 6 positions that I would use. I would also recommend, as long as there's no other issues like injury, that you do these both calves at once or both legs at once, just in the interest of saving time. And so you would just find a spot on the wall, have secure footwear, and I'll start out with the knee straight position and the feet straight ahead. So that's number 1. And then you want to keep the heels, both heels in contact with the floor, and then lean forward so you're essentially bending at the ankle until you feel a good stretch. If you feel your heels coming off of the floor, you've gone too far. At that point, you're not stretching the calves anymore. And so you want to hold this position 30 seconds. The number 2 position would be knees straight still, with the toes pointing slightly outward. It doesn't have to be a giant amount outward. Also with the knees straight, once again leaning forward. This theoretically targets more of the outside or the lateral portion of the calf muscle group that crosses the knee. And then the third position would be knees straight, turning the toes inward slightly. Also again with the heels on the floor, knees straight, and then lean forward so you feel that stretch. Depending on what particular musculoskeletal issues you might have, some of these stretches might stir up pain. If you just go into a gentle stretch, there's no damage caused. It's a very low load stretch. Once you're done with that one, that's 3 down. Now I'm going to go back to toes pointing straight ahead again with the knees bent. And you want to bend your knees until you feel a stretch. At a certain point, my heels are going to come off the floor. At that point, I need to back off. I want to keep your heels on the floor. So this would be the 4th stretch position for this set of stretches. And then I'm going to go into the toes pointing outward. Bend the knees until you feel a stretch. Keep the heels on the floor. Again, all of these I would recommend doing for 30 seconds when you actually do them. And then finally, the 6th one, turning the toes inward, bending at the knee, all the while keeping the heels on the floor. This is thought to target the inner portion of the calf muscle group. So that is a summary of the 6-way calf stretch. Along with this, if we're going to be talking about stretching at the leg and calf, I think it's a really valuable stretch to know and do the front leg stretch, which primarily stretches the anterior tibialis muscle, the main muscle group on the front of the leg. And to do this, you can either do this simultaneously on the floor with both. I'm going to demonstrate it just one side here. And so you would find either a workout bench or a chair even helpful if it's padded. And you go ahead and you put your ankle on the chair. And you want to get your leg fully supported. And then you would line up with how you would walk or run and just do a sit back and load. Your butt may or may not touch your heel. And you want to load till you feel a stretch across the calf, or rather across the front of the ankle. Now if you experience knee pain when you're doing this, that's the beauty of doing it with the chair or a bench. you don't have to fully load it such that it hurts your knee. You can actually have partial loading where it's still getting a stretch on your ankle, but it's not stressing your knee so much. This still has value for the benefit of stretching the leg across the front there in the anterior tibialis muscle group. So that's the front leg stretch as well as the 6-way calf stretch.